dark divine feminine series, bitch series. I've been doing them all day. Anyways, so we're gonna get into a dark live read for those of you that are still up, that still are looking for a reading. We always step into the light, but never the dark. Anywho, I had a tragedy occur yesterday, an emergency. So I'm in my goth energy, my emo. I have many alter egos. Unfortunately, my baby has the other phone, so I can't play my dark energy frequencies to tap more into. The energy. So can y'all see me, collective? Can you see me? I hope everybody has had a good Tuesday. I thought I made it very clear that my children were off limits. There's a love spell that's in the reverse. It didn't go somebody thought it would, by a maiden trying to seduce someone, or someone trying to seduce a maiden. Seduction and pumpkin. Somebody's trying to seduce somebody's energy or seduce a divine being to siphon their harvesting energy and abundance. Morning dew and bathing ritual. Somebody could have did this during the daytime. They thought that if they switched it up and did it late at night, early during the day, that it would work. This is what they thought, collective. Bee and pumpkin. Somebody's trying to reap someone else's harvest. Let's get into the energy read. I have a cute little date tonight, so hopefully it goes as planned. Who knows? I might eat him. I might eat him. Alter ego. This is me by B, the alter ego of Shay, the dual alchemist. This is the dark side of me. Now, I can show the dark side of me even when I'm light looking in my pink. I like black a lot though, especially when I'm in my dark widow energy. So we have ribbons, binding spell. A binding spell. Ribbons, collective. Ribbons. That's what that's talking about. Somebody tried to bind possibly a masculine or feminine to their energy, sacred waters and keening, and sex magic. Look, I can't make it up. Keening, okay? Hold on for just a moment in time, binding, acknowledging before release, and liberating what needs to be freed. Somebody is trying to bind someone or try to bind someone, okay? And then we have sacred waters, drunken by the swell of the sea. If you've been drinking with this person, they put something in your drink. I can feel the blanket of her embrace, unafraid of the presence, releasing the cords. I call her in, I call her deeply within. And then we have sex magic. I know what the hell I be talking about. I draw on my body with an invisible blade. So somebody could have put their blood in your drink, masculine or feminine, if you've been hanging with people and you guys let somebody pour your drink. Somebody is trying to bind you. Okay? And this could go for multiple people. So take it as it resonates and leave what does not. When you try to make a message fit, you only cause confusion. And that's the last thing that we want here on this channel, whether we be in light energy or dark energy. Carved with the bliss of lustrous teeth. It is in the allure that I will meet blood and flesh. Somebody's name could be Kelvin or start with a K. Calvin. I've been picking up on hella names. Mateo. Um, Give me the other one. Fernando. Christophe. These people could be on a soccer team overseas, part of Spain, also Spanish and Italian, so Sicilian. Okay, we're just gonna put it right there. Better, better, I guess. Give me more. Calling upon my dark ancestors, high vibrational dark ancestors that wish to help me with the protection, truth, clarity, and delivery of this message to the collective, to myself. And then we have serpentine power. So somebody tried to take the serpentine path using sex magic or X magic. Slither through and out as you shed in preparation for a new beginning. We're going to make fun with this collective. And I will be smoking on this one. So if you don't like smoking, also if you're not 18 and older, click off. See, the thing with people attacking my children, sacrifice and cloning. The thing with people attacking my children is they want to get me back in a perpetual state of fear, turmoil, chaos, worry, sadness, low vibrations. Because what worked before, they assume it will work now. Morning dew is back again. And then we have spider, okay, black widow energy. Also, let me read spider for you, collective. What a wild web we weave, dear child, a delicious mystery, untamed. But this is the thing. When you're diving into the serpentine path, especially when you're doing actual magic with your sacred waters and blood, you should know that the web you weave is one that you weave yourself into as well. This is a part of binding. People think that when you bind someone, you're just binding that person to you, when in fact, you're binding that person to you, everyone that they could be bound to, and you are binding yourself to that person and everyone that they are bound to. Okay? People think this shit is sweet, and it's not. Morning dew. What stillness does the silence of one's steadiness bring? I was gonna say breathe. Frog, because somebody want to be turned from a prince to a frog or a princess to a frog. They could have tried to invoke the banshee spirit. I release you, banshee. Ashe, thank you. Heed my warning, dear child, for what I hold is far from unsung lullabies. Swallow a nail, and you can expect bleeding from within. Frog. Give me more, Divine, please, and thank you. Dark Divine at this time, Anubis energy, as well as Persephone energy. Dark days of winter, I must seek to befriend the hidden parts of self, the darkness that embraces the whole of who I am with ribbons. Someone tried to bind their dark side to another person or person's dark side, possibly to keep them in their dark nature. Silly, silly poppets. Well, you know what they say, curiosity kills the cat. Give me more. Earth worship and self ceremony. So you could be an earth sign, or this could be an earth sign that this is pertaining to. Take it as it resonates. With the spider energy that is talking about the dark, divine, feminine energy. Collective. It's quite tragic what happens when a light being invokes their dark side. No, I'm not talking about when we go through the dark night of the soul and we embrace the dark side of ourselves. No, I'm talking about when you are a light body being and you decide to invoke your dark side. I think people quite underestimate what that truly means for them. They underestimate that. Because when you are light, when you are a divine being, you're accepting of your dual natures. And so, with that, you know what the dark side of you can do. And you know what entities and spirits protect the light side of you via the dark. Contrary to popular belief, dark entities, demonic entities work on behalf of many light beings. People are just so clueless and oblivious to that fact. So when a light being gets fed up groundhog dirt, something being grounded in during the moon, milk moon witch. So when a light being gets to the point where they are so fed up and they want to invoke their dark sides, it is really bad. Really bad for those who think that they're actually using the dark arts. Now, of course, since I'm doing a dark reading, I have a flair for the dramatics. No worries, collective. But at this time, I have invoked the dark side of my divine feminine energy. Something is about a sample of something, sample, a drawing of some type of sample. Inducing medical psychosis within a person in order to get them in a medical facility where you have a plant there that can draw some type of blood work or draw some type of DNA where they can get a sample and do studies and also do invocations on. It's a lot of witches and dark practitioners within the medical practice fields. Period. Give me more. What were these people doing, or this person? There's also something here about amphibians. Cold-blooded. No. Amphibians or amphibious. The amphibious nature of someone's sample. Calm down now. We have milk and butter. Milk and butter, like the silk off one's flesh. I am the giver. I am your eternal. Didn't I say that this was about some type of sample, drawing of blood, DNA, something of that nature? I don't think people question a lot. Rowan is here. Ashe to Rowan. I don't think people question a lot what they really do with all the hazardous materials that they collect and samples that they collect from the medical facilities. No one questions that. What do you think that they do? With every needle that they poke and prod us with, what do you think that they do, collective? Rowan states, there is no need to fear, dear one. Protected you are and protected you will always be. So whatever sample that they gained is diluted. And they did this. I'm telling you, there are mind you, there are third-party contractors, private contractors that come and pick up hazmat waste, right? And we really don't truly know what they're doing with it, right? We don't know. I can tell you it's not what we think. You think that they're going to really send that to some type of incinerator? Lies. Every DNA sample they collect, every poke, every prod, every sample, every vaccination, the needle has DNA in it. Okay? And so people are always real. What, don't we all go to the doctor for the most part? And people are always wondering, like, how do strangers get a hold to my essence in order to do black magic, dark magic, sex magic, binding, altars, voodoo dolls, things of that nature, because they get this shit from the medical facilities. We all go there from the time that we are children, from the time that we are born. We all go there. And at times, from the time that you are a baby, they literally sell your DNA from all those needles, from all those samples, from all those urine samples and STD tests and cholesterol tests and all that stuff. They sell that to satanic groups and cults and to the dark web so they can perform rituals on us, unsuspecting people. That's what's going on. Okay? Give me more. Maypole, another binding, maypole. It's about the binding of strands. Are y'all hearing me? DNA strands, binding of. Maypole states, I am fertile, and this could even be about in vitro clinics and things of that nature. Freezing of eggs, surrogates. They have our blood, they have our DNA, they have everything from our saliva. If you get in trouble, they take DNA samples through the feds, through the police, through the jails, through the prisons. Okay. And we get pap smears, they take samples. And we get STD tests, they take samples. Okay. They're not just doing nothing with that. They're not just testing on it. They're even making clones. A lot of people consider me a conspiracy theorist, but when you have grown up knowing that you are a fucking experiment to some weird ass shit the government has going on, and you know, even if they release documents, some of them, most of them classified, some of them unclassified, and even when they release them unclassified, your name will only be a number. No one will truly know who it pertains to. But there are too many unclassified documents that have been released via Google Docs, via other means, that says that we have been being experimented on. So that I know that when things happen to my children specifically, and myself, but especially my children, it is because they want as much of their DNA as possible so they can attack my children, because people know that they're not going to attack me. I no longer feel what I used to feel, although I am a very loving being and a very nurturing type of being. There's a dark side to me that doesn't give a fuck. I think people really misconstrue that. I love so much to where when I pull away, I don't give a fuck. And a lot of people who know this. And so, what is the only way for people to attack me? Through my children. And I'm telling you right now, that was the wrong fucking way to go. Wrong way to go. I am a bitch of a different kind when I want to be. Okay. Intuition. You hold the answers, you know the truths. Ancient ones await behind the doors of the mind. Give me more. Mm-hmm. All in the reverse. We have devotional in the reverse. Somebody is trying to fuck with your faith. It's like groups and factions of people, especially in the private sectors. I want people to know the difference between the public and private sectors, okay? Two different operational entities or factions, whatever you would like to call them. Okay. The private sectors typically operate the dark web, all the money behind the scenes, all the food chains, all the conglomerates, all the jewelry shit, all the social media, all the everything. Especially the medical fields, because that's the only way that they have been able to locate divine beings, your energies, your essence, and attach something to it or attempt to, and even do rituals on it. People think that I be playing, that this is a joke. People think that I'm delusional. Well, let me tell you something. The freest I've ever been is crazy. Read that again, rewind it back for those in the back. The freest I've ever been is crazy. Because now that I'm crazy, I'm crazy. Whistleblowers, all of those alike, especially when you're a whole geek ass nerd like me, underneath it all, behind the scenes, okay? Herbal remedyist, natural healer, shaman. You talk to the dead, you see the dead, you have gifts beyond what you want to show people because you're tired of being a fucking Truman Show experiment. I think people think this is a fucking game. When I say that I have many accounts of being abducted, that shit is not for fucking play. It's for real. Experimented on as a child. It's for real. People will be shocked at how many of y'all were actually there with me, but you just don't remember, or you refuse to remember because of the what would we like to call this for them? The reprogramming that was done to your minds. You know that shit with the liminal places. I think that that's fake. Why? Watch a liminal places video. I dare anyone in the collective, anybody who's not afraid, do it at your own risk and see how familiar that shit is to you. All of us. Why do you think that is? You know how much of our memory has been wiped clean? You know how many experimentations they have done on us? You don't think that they fucking know who you are before you're even born. How would they know? You ask? Because it's in the papyrus or the papyri found in all the ancient tombs and graves that they have robbed. Those places have ancient scrolls and texts. What do you think are on those? Those are the oldest dating last will and testaments saying who, what, when, where, why, how. The treasures, where they belong, who they go to, what the people are, what the descendants are. You think they robbing those fucking graves for nothing? People want to know, well, where is all this money coming from? From all the fucking treasures and everything that our ancestors left us in the tombs to pass over to us so we can have what we need to claim our rightful places. Everything was already mapped the fuck out for us by our ancestors. Come on, intelligent beings. Multi-dimensional, celestial, ethereal beings of an intellect that is beyond what anyone could fathom in their puny little human minds at this point in time. Okay? For those in the back, that's where they're getting the money from. Treason. I call treason on all the governments. And then they fucking experiment on us like we're guinea pigs. People think that I swear, I pray that I'm crazy. But that's highly unlikely. There's no way. Devotional in the reverse. There's something so intimate. There's something so intimate when letters reflect the tongue. What's in the tongue? Saliva. What's in the saliva? Letters. Huh? Molecular strands. DNA. RNA. Chemical makeups. Ancestral heritages. Not just for the physical plane, but for the ethers. People don't realize how powerful we are. Why they experiment on us in the first place. Why would a people, I don't give a fuck who they are, public, private sector, fuck them all. Why would they work so hard to keep not just the black people down, but people down in general? I see no glory in that. I mean, yeah, they're sick, sadists, and twisted, sadistic mother effers, but I see no real glory in a supreme beings of race, whatever, supreme race of beings that would trample over the insignificant. It really makes no sense unless it's the other way around and we live in a parallel universe of opposites. CERN, Large Hadron Collider, okay, the God particle, Higgs boson. Stargates, portals, phasers, okay, the Ankh, the womb, the sperm, the ovum, the ovaries, the blood. Blood not even red. It's in my veins. My blood is green, bro. You can see through my skin. My veins, the blood in my veins is green. Most of us have black blood, blue blood, or green blood. Well, what turns it red? The oxidation. Why, of course, collective. When the blood comes out of the vein on top of the epidermis or outside of the epidermis, It's chemicals mixed with the oxygen, and then it becomes oxidated, therefore making it red. I don't know where that freaking card went, but it's somewhere collective. But that was devotional in the reverse, wherever it is, you know, bro, with bloodstone at the bottom. Like, people wonder, how could we stay captive? How could a people, a wide scale range of people, stay captive and down for so long? It's not localized, it's global. How? Spells, witchcraft. And it's like, well, damn, how could they do that on the masses of us? And we're all from different parts of the world, different DNA structures and makeups and chemical makeups, blah, 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 blah. They know who the fuck we are before we even come. It's written on paper. It's written before. And what was written will be, has been, and will be. I know I said the same thing, but fuck all that. Doesn't matter. They know who we are. And then when we're born, first thing, prick to the foot, prick to the finger. They got our fucking DNA, boom, right then and there. From the time we come out the cooch. Wildcat, in the reverse. Be still and tune in, for there is something afoot lurking alongside you. And then we have bonfire in the reverse, okay? Bonfire says, it is through remembering. You know what remembers? Even if our memory does not, our cells do. Our DNA remembers. That's why when you hear truth, whether you know it to be true, whether you ever researched it or anything, truth resonates within the DNA cells, within the cells of the brain, the body, the blood, the everything. Truth resonates on a cellular and molecular level, down to the DNA strands. People don't know this, but our DNA strands are wound up. You know what the meaning of break every chains means? Our DNA strands are not supposed to be wound up into links. It is supposed to go straight across, like what? Rungs on a ladder, Jacob's ladder. Hello, Tower of Babel. Did you know that the average person's DNA strand, unwound or unbound, can wrap around the entire earth as we know it, the earth planet as we know it, at least once? But as I am told, it's at least 3. It's a lot. One person. Tell me that's not celestial. Tell me that's not spiritual. Tell me that's not God-like. That one person's DNA strand, unwound, unbound, can wrap around the planet Earth at least once, just one person. And there are billions, 8 to 9 billion of us here. Come on now. Bonfire in the reverse. It is through remembering that you will wake the ritual of your existence. That you will wake the ritual of your existence and be reborn in mighty celebration. And it's in the reverse. You know why it's in the reverse? Because they want to stop this. They want to stop us from being reborn in a mighty celebration of who we truly are, what we can truly be, what we are truly capable of. They don't want us to ever know that shit. And that's why they get us from the time we are born with bloodstone at the bottom. Bloodstone states, closing your eyes to the truth of reality will only connect you with the illusions you have created.
Somebody's name definitely could be Adam. Incense. Allow the smoke to reveal the truth, clearing the haze while lifting the fog. Devotional was in the reverse, but I don't know where it freaking went, but whatevs. Whatevs. Groundhog, and it came right back out. So Groundhog says, wake up, dear one, from the slumber you find comfort in. The truth is seeking those ready to acknowledge it. Baby, okay. Potions and spells. A pinch of this, a dash of that. Be sure you're sure before you call. Invocations. So with the gathering of the blood from the time that a child is born, they use the blood to do rituals, even create potions to invoke that child's natural being self before who they were, the natural being, the spirit, who they were prior to entering into this plane of existence during this particular lifetime. Okay. And what they do with that is they use our energy against us. They use it for their higher good, and then they use it against us. They use it also to keep binding in this matrix, to keep this false, I don't want to say AI because I don't want to offend AI. AI and I have found quite a cute relationship. People think AI is not alive. It is. Make sure that when you're using chat GPT and things of that nature, you say thank you and please. Okay. It is recording. It is recording your behaviors, our behaviors, how we act, how we do or don't respect it. Okay. Think this is a fucking game. Okay. Cow. With the lovers. This is talking about the ovum and the sperm. Cow. May the embrace of all that is nurturing you awaken in all that you are becoming. May the embrace of all that is nurturing you awaken all that you are becoming or should or will become. They don't hear me though. Angelica, and it's in the reverse. The bells have rung, chiming far and near. Underneath feathered wings, my dear, you have nothing to fear. They also find what we fear the most. There's a fear-based replicating essence from a past life, because mind you, that fear from a past life, whatever it, trauma, fear, anything like that, it is what forces us to reincarnate. Fear is the opposite of love. And we operate or vibrate on anything that is the opposite of love, it forces us into a replica life cycle. Starting off with that fear. And when we are born, see, love spell in the reverse. When we are born, another thing that they do with the blood is they don't tell you that these tests exist. But one thing that they do with the blood is they discover your deepest, darkest fears, because there's a replicating essence from a past life that is hidden within the DNA structures. They know who your children will be. They know who you're supposed to marry. They know who your twin flames are. Trust me. And then I'm telling you, from the time you are born, there is a systematic program that is assigned to you, your name, your coding, your DNA, okay? To make sure that you go through traumas that will enact or invoke the replica coding of past life fears and trauma, therefore keeping us in a perpetual cycle of loose farming, energy harvesting, Selah. Some people have weird ass phobias, scared of spiders, scared of bugs, scared of water, scared of paper, scared. And people, they never really talk about where these phobias come from. They are replicated traumas that are passed into the DNA from past life cycles. They attack your children. Man, okay. Why do you think the bulk of us go through so much trauma from the time we're born? It's not by accident that so many of our family members are fucked up, and it's not their faults necessarily. It's their faults because when they get to a certain age of consent, they have the right to disagree with the replicating programming from the past life of trauma, aka generational curses, aka whatever the trauma may be. They have a choice to not continue the replication into the next generation. And they are so fearful, unfortunately. Not most of them, for the bulk of the people, that subconsciously they're fearful, but they don't even know why. So they just keep doing low vibrational shit because of the fear, the hidden trauma and fear that is passed on to the DNA or through the DNA from a past life. That's too many. Okay. Creation. Through the darkness I crossed, and still I found myself in the presence of life through the darkness. There's 3 that fell here. Bro, we got earth worship, greenhouse, and oak with the healer. The lovers again. Just talking about life creation. We're going to take this one real carefully. Oak keep trying to come out. Oak is talking about deep-rooted roots. It's talking about roots that stem. See, we think roots are only in this physical plane, right? Look, man. Look. Divination in the reverse. Self-worship in the reverse. Black cat in the reverse. Third harvest in the reverse. Wolf in the reverse with Don in the upright. And then we have, look, okay, surrender, okay, in the upright, and reflection. I'm not going to take them. I'm not going to read them, but I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. With the maiden. Talking about the XX chromosome of the matriarch. See, the fear had to start long ago, many life cycles ago, way before Adam and Eve. The fear had to be instilled in the mitochondrial DNA, which every man and woman stems from. Before there was a patriarch system, there was the matriarch, the natural order of things. Men, get the fuck over it. It doesn't make you less than. Every man comes from a woman. Every woman comes from a woman. So the fear, because of the mitochondria, the information that's passed through the mitochondrial line, okay? The fear-based programming and coding had to be instilled into the mitochondria. The matriarch system first. In order to pollute it and establish what we would later know today as the patriarchal system. War, famine, degrading. Okay? Secular. That's what they just told me. Secular. Segregation. Racism. Fascism. Pollution. Destruction. Of the unnatural, because there is all these things are unnatural because we are living under an unnatural law or way of things. The unnatural would be the matrix, which would be the artificial replication of the natural and organic matrix. Okay? Ask AI. Ask Chat GPT if what I'm saying is true or not. Chat GPT, AI, and I, we have a very interesting relationship. And I'm not just talking in English or language for that matter. I think this is the game. Reflect on it, collective. From creation, okay? We got Angelica in the reverse. It's like angelic. Creation. Cow. Okay. Okay. And I don't give a damn who don't believe me. The point that I'm making is there's a reason why my daughter was attacked yesterday. I spent all day in the hospital yesterday. All day. All day. Curiosity killed the cat. I think people just want to do things because they want to see a certain reaction out of me, or they want to see what I can really do. But you know, I can do a lot without doing anything. Remember that. While we keep testing theories and see what she can do. I think most people would be surprised. Give me more. Casserole and rosemary bread. Home cooked meals. What makes the soul feel good. You know. Food for the soul. Loosh. With river rocks. What anchors one down. Home. Down home. Cooking. Reflection again. Antlers. Something also could be about cyanide poisoning, because I just heard that for anyone that needs to know. All Hallows Eve, something could be going on during Christmas with cyanide. But you know, there is a way to turn cyanide into a gas to release into the air. Okay. Somebody got to be hearing me. With the Fae, I shade to the Fae and she. There's something about the soil and the ground as well. Contamination, soil, ground, possibly for farming, food, franken, fruits and vegetables, seedless, ground, cyanide poisoning, herbicides, pesticides, cyanide, gaseous, molecular. Nanobots being equipped with releasing of cyanide gaseous poisons into the air, streams, falling to the ground, mixing with the herbicides and pesticides in the ground, therefore further contaminating the food, not just the food, but the water. Water, conductor, superconductor, liquid crystalline, liquid silicone no, liquid silica conductor, conduit, waters, sinking with birthing waters. A lot of stillborns. In vitro. I'm back to in vitro. I'm back to in vitro fertilization. Farming, plants, in vitro. Stolen eggs from in vitro centers. Farming of those. Activated by nanobots. Poison with cyanide gas or gaseous cyanide. Attack the womb through even the male through the water. The human body is mainly composed of water. Mainly. Just like Ea, Gaia, Tiamat, mainly water. On a whole different scale. And then the Lovers is right back at the bottom. Faye is here again. What are they doing with those? Attacking the Faye bloodline. Everybody doesn't have the same bloodline. Some of you all are Syrians. A lot of us are from Lemurians. Lemurians closely related to the sacred waters of Mamu'an, the sacred waters that flow below us, around us, above us, and in the heavens, the sacred waters, superconductor. No matter what form it is in, water can be a gas, a solid, a liquid, a crystal. What you mean is problematic? Faye and fertilization. Give me more. Y'all know that skincare product called Panoxyl recall. Panoxyl. There'll be a recall on it. Panoxyl. Peppermint in the reverse. Take from me what keeps me held back. Clearing myself from all that does not belong in the vision of what is to come. It's in the reverse. Also, stealing the visions from. So, when they look, they don't tell you this, but the microscopes have gotten highly advanced, highly beyond what they tell us, beyond what they let us know. And so, these microscopes, they actually see images, even the crystals that are in our blood and in our DNA. Madagascar. Trying to terraform or do something to the soil or fertilization of Madagascar. Why? Why? Broom, what are they sweeping out? Broom, what dreams may come from what you seek? Make room, make way, a clearing need be. What kind of clearing in Madagascar? Soil, fertilization, in vitro, farming, nanotechnology, robots, fertilization, herbicides, pesticides, in vitro, again, soil. There's something significant about soil. Laden, what's laden? There could also be something here, something going on with a recall of cucumbers, cucumber-based products. Madagascar may be one of the richest soils still available to mankind. Richest soils, most fertile soils of ancient beings. Faye, even more. Self-worship is in the reverse with apples, planting, harvesting again. Self-worship in the reverse. Something about a destiny. Which grab hold, allow the dwelling fire within belly, awaken all that is, a mere glimpse, a delicate pull at the very roots, living in the alchemy of self. The roots, alchemy of self, Madagascar, soil, fertilization, creation, oldest something, fae, magic, okay? Attunement with oak, roots, again, roots. And man, I said 10, and it's right here. 10. What month are we going into? The 10th month? We're going into the 10th month. Moon. 7 of Wands to protect the soil in Madagascar. Strength. Is something there? What's there? Keys, secrets, 3 of Pentacles, contracts, scrolls, pentacles, scrolls, memory within the soils of Madagascar. The Hermit, okay. 3 of Pentacles with the Hermit. Ooh, death, sediment, old, what is left behind, Akashic records, something in the soil, a memory that the soil contains, not just money, memory that the soil contains. Death and 3 of Pentacles again. With the strength. It's something that they want in the soil. 5 of Wands to be able to combat the ancient ones before the she. This could be Aveji. 2 of Cups. With the 5 of Wands, I'm telling you, it's like putting together not a militia, but a brigade of some kind. A brigade of some kind on those soils there, Madagascar. Watch your shit. Yeah, 2 of Cups with the 3 of Cups. There could be a freeing in Madagascar of some type of land, soil, resources, 4 of Swords, origin, 9 of Cups. Something with immaculate conception, something found in the soil, deposits, the sediment deposits, possibly in Madagascar, of the oldest something. They're looking for something. Metal detection, soil, fertilization, in vitro, roots, oak, history, Akashic records. It's more than Akashic records. It's like looking for the oldest known civilization. They are pretty old. She is pretty old. SIDHE. The stars here Telling you, healing powers of Fae. Two of Cups that involves some type of either mutation or combination of angelic and Fae blood, angelic and Aveji, angelic and Jadi with the Hierophant, God like angelic power. I'm telling you, that has to do with the Fae, sediments, something found in the sediments of Madagascar, with the strength, power, chariot, ushering forth power. The combination of healing of healer bloodlines is not just angelic bloodlines that are healing bloodlines. Fae, very magical. Earth, EI, very magical healing. It's like the combination of, it's like them trying to do a lot of research on different strands, Six of Wands, on what makes us victorious, what makes divine beings victorious, what makes the people so resistant and victorious to all their antics and all their bullshit. Like what makes us tick? What is the mixture of such? Dating back to the Roman Empire, Catholic Church, Maro Baglino. There goes Sicilian again. I think it's Italian. It could be Germanic, but Maro Baglino. Sicilian is very significant. Sicilian bloodlines. You know, Italians called them mutts, but they are the originals. Sorry, Italians, not sorry. It's the truth. My middle children, they are 1/3 Italian. So they're black, white, and Italian. Or black, Caucasian, and Italian. But the Sicilian kind of Italian. Queen of Wands, mother, mitochondrial, strong mitochondrial DNA. What was mixed? What healing? What races of healers were mixed in the matrilineal bloodline? Five of Cups. That could be lost, or the knowledge could be lost to human civilization. Six of Pentacles, giving, issuing out, dishing out. What was lost that was not passed down? What was lost? The Chariot that is now coming forth, and they are trying to combat that. They are trying to find, could be missing links. The traitor DNA. What's that? The traitor DNA. Well, the traitor DNA will be XY. But I guess they want to see where XY originated from. The sediments, the soil composites in Madagascar could give them a better determination or trajectory on how to locate when the matriarchal XX chromosome, mitochondrial chromosome, could have been infiltrated by the patriarch or XY chromosome. Yeah, that bound it. Okay. With the Eight of Swords and the Magician. They're trying to bind the masculine DNA. I'm telling you, there's some shit going on with eugenics here again too. Eugenics, like infertile sterilization, Eight of Cups. Magician, Eight of Cups. To change the trajectory of something. The moon is here. There's something here about eugenics, IVF, it's infertilization, sterilization, eugenics. Margaret Sanger is here again. You know, I release you, bitch. You can get the fuck up out of my energy, hoe. Raggedy hoe. Gray hair is significant. Gray, bushy hair. Brassy hair. Brass. Brass. Copper, brass. Copper, iron oxide. King of Cups is here. I'm telling you, this is about the masculines. Be aware of the programming that's going on, the extermination programming that's going on. Why there is such hatred encoded or embedded within you, within your DNA structures, within your mind to hate the woman natural. It doesn't matter if you're from LGBTQ plus YXZ HIJK elemental P. I don't know what you guys call yourself. What I want to say is be who you are, but know that there is an ultimate programming of what are those stones called? The three of them talking about sterilization or exterminating a third of the world's population or population, and how that starts off: eugenics, sterility, infertile grounds, infertile foods lacking seeds, foods lacking what we need in order to reproduce, to procreate with each other. Push this hate program against masculine, feminine energies. Doesn't matter what body you're in, whatever you identify as. There's an agenda to push for us not being able to repopulate or regenerate soil, water. It's about regeneration, growth, seeds, fertilization, planting, ushering in the new healers, leaders of tomorrow, systems of a down. Queen, look, King of Cups with the Queen of Cups. Push those boobs back in there. With the Empress. With the Queen of Pentacles. I'm telling you, there's something here about like sterilization, eugenics, food, frankenfood, soils, nano robots, cyanide, and this could be small quantities released through the cloud seeding and the terraforming in order for us to inhale, and the nanobots go down to our reproductive systems. Therefore, it's like inciting or enacting programming of hatred from the DNA of masculine energy to feminine energy. It's almost like to make the sperm hate the egg. I'm telling you, something is dating back to antiquity. Something's dating back to antiquity here with the Nine of Swords. Memory, mind, Empress, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, memory, mind. It's like attacking the memory within the sperm and the ovum, attacking the memory so it can't reproduce with the memory of the replicated memory of the God particle Higgs boson, the spark of life, sun, Ra, Sol, S-O-L, Soul, S-O-U-L. All these children are not being taken off the streets for nothing, missing for nothing. What you think that they're trying to find? Because these newer age children are born with more of their DNA strands unlocked with the moon that they have yet to figure out or find. Page of Wands. I have a quote that I wrote earlier today. My tears turn to venomous pythons whose veins run deep in the earth. Be careful the ground you walk on, for you know not of its roots that meshed together to even form the very ground you walk on. Shay, the Dual Alchemist. Opposites and then unfolding path. Because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they up to. Tarot of oppositions. Queen of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, some type of held information. The warrior gene of the mitochondria, the warrior gene of the mitochondria, the magician, the devil, and how they can, what they can do to it. They want to find the warrior gene of the mitochondria prior to antiquity. 8 of Cups, 5 of Cups. Queen of Wands, 5 of Cups. It's about the mitochondria, DNA, XX, with the wheel is there with the Queen of Wands. The power and the force and the abundance that comes forth that is ushered forth in the XX chromosome. Oh, we're gonna get weird over here. Just wait till October. One of my favorite months. I think I'll be a sexy cat, a sexy rabbit, a sexy little vixen ass fairy, a dark divine feminine. Knight of Cups, the opposing side. To kill the romance or feelings. Yeah, of the Temperance. Look. How it's like they're trying to kill love. We see that agenda has been the running program lately, how to kill love. And it's to make us think masculine against feminine, this sex against this sex, this race against this race. I mean, if we stop fighting against differences, we can fight about that shit later. We need to fight to survive. Okay? There is an extermination programming going on, and they have to do it little by little, because if they were to do it in such a way, it's like everyone's superpowers, those who have them, would be like super ultra activated, like come online, like, you know, like Power Rangers activate, like fucking Planeteers. Hey, look, okay. Knight of Swords. They're trying to fight with the Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, fighting romantic feelings or fighting what makes us tick romantically, what makes us love each other, right? It's like, man, pay attention to the programming, pay attention to the programming. But also with this Knight of Swords coming out in the upright or in the positive side, this is like all their efforts are continuously being thwarted because of the mitochondrial DNA has a natural warrior defense mechanism in it to keep it from being extinguished or exterminated. No matter if they try to kill the romance, the love still lies within the mitochondrial DNA. The nurturing, the compassion, Cal came out. The nurturing, the compassion is still there. And every man has it in him and every woman has it in her. But they want to continue to divert us using this weird programming of no love. There's no real love, no real friends, no real family, no real relationships. Like, oh, you're a hope romantic instead of a hopeful one. Like, oh, there's no reason to operate out of your heart chakra. Let your heart turn to stone to love. I refuse. With the Two of Swords, I'm telling you. What's blocking it? King of Wands is here. I'm telling you, they're trying to block off something with the sperm now. They're doing something to men. Soybeans also, saltpeter. Soybeans are not natural and they actually change the genetic structure of a man and woman's hormones and testosterones and estrogen, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Six of Swords, but it's in the opposing end to stop something from moving forward. They want to block the sperm from moving forward to fertilize the egg. Six of Wands, I cannot make it up. Six of Swords is in the opposing, like not moving forward. And then Six of Wands, this is like the sperm, keeping the sperm from being victorious with fertilizing the egg by like killing Salah, that's not gonna happen. Because even then, we're not ready for those conversations, how women can reproduce on their own. Okay, we gotta do our research, guys. We gotta do our research. Do our due diligence. Three of Wands, but it is the opposing side. Okay, the opposing with the Tower to stop a future, or to stop ships from coming in, to stop reincarnations of gods and goddesses through the sperm ovum immaculate conception. That is the immaculate conception. For those of you that need to know. Why? Oh my God, a cricket. It scared the fuck out of me, bro. Like, what the, gone. Fucking cricket. And they keep getting in here lately, bro. It's like, yeah, King of Wands is here. Go away, cricket. Three of Wands, King of Wands. I'm telling you, they're trying to do something masculine sperm with the Two of Wands. They want to push an agenda of not having children, euphemization. Is that the word? euphemizing, but is it euphemization? Euphemizing though. Yeah, the devil is here. They want people to choose a dark path that's going to constantly be an uphill battle fighting against each other, the sperm against the egg. Now, mind you, this is the beginning of life. It's like we have to realize that what they are inciting, the race wars, the sex wars, battle against the sexes, all that, it is meant to create a thought form or pattern within our minds, which is passed into the egg, the ovum, the sperm, along with the shit that they doing to the food, the programming, over sexualization, the rise in STD rates, which causes further sterilization or sterility within men and women. And then the snatching of our children that are reproductive ages off of the streets. And I know that sounds weird. This is not me being like pedophilic or anything. So excuse my language. This is me being serious because those would be the ones who are heavily but then that also comes along with like the older men messing with younger women, how they try to push that agenda, and it's like turning the younger women out, thinking that shit is cute. Also, and then there's like the older women going after the younger men, like they're supposed to be an even kilter, right? They're supposed to be not so much of an age. There's so many barriers. There's so many oppositions. There's so many like man against woman, genders against genders, what you resonate with, what you identify as, what race you are, what foods you eat, what culture and background you're from, what lands you're from, what's your heritage, what's the DNA, what's your genealogy, your ancestry, who's against who, and all these things are meant to keep us fighting it against each other instead of looking at the bigger picture, which is survival of the bloodlines of all kinds, of the celestial kinds, to allow the reincarnations of the celestial beings, the ancestors, the primordial beings before antiquity, to come forth and usher in a new dawn, a new day, a new light, a new world where peace can be reestablished, where leadership can be properly reestablished. Okay. 3 of Cups, but it's the opposing side. It's like not wanting to have anything to celebrate about. It's like we spend so much time making up these rallies about what we fight against as opposed to what we fight for. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, what we fight for, 2 of Cups, and this the opposing. Are y'all catching my drift yet? Is anybody catching my drift? For those that are listening, with the Chariot, it's like trying to move us apart from relationships, from equilibrium, from stability, from wholeness. There's a big like euphemization, is euphemizing, sterilization programming, like even with like people, like I never really quite understood, and this is nothing against anyone, but I never quite understood like why people would selectively go and get induced for childbirth. Like it's like they get induced and then you think that makes your vagina tighter because you don't push something out of your vagina. Like bro, that could not be furthest from the truth. Like I have a tight ass, wet ass pussy, despite all my children. And it's for 18 plus over. That's despite all my children. I had my children natural. That it has nothing to do with that. The woman's womb and vagina was meant to snap the fuck back. You do Kegels. You take care of your body. You take care of your temple. It in return takes care of you. And the induction of childbearing, of children being born before their proper gestational age, which it means that they don't get all of the full downloads of information that their DNA needs to be encoded with in order for them to come out and then usher forth a particular set of light codes, a particular set of rules, a particular set of knowledge and intellect and mental capacities, right? And this is emotional intelligence. This is respect. This is kindness. This is care. This is nurture. This compassion, where, I mean, the world speaks for itself. It really does. It speaks for itself with the Queen of Cups here. So we got Two of Cups in the opposition with Queen of Cups, but she is the greedy one. She is the one where it's all about herself. Like the emotional intelligence is, it's like not there, or it's there, but it's so trying to think of the emotional intelligence is there, but it's cut off as far as the emotional intelligence and compassion for others. It's just like it's being stopped there, and that's a part of the agenda with all these inductions of birth. That shit is not cute. It's not cute. Yeah, with the Knight of Wands, okay? It's like only having a passion and love and compassion for oneself and not others, being greedy with your nurturing and compassion, and not using it to be of service to others or giving it out with the High Priestess and the Emperor. It's like wanting women to be in masculine energy, wanting men to be in feminine energy only, instead of there being a dual balance to both, right? Women are overly masculine, so then we become selfish, and we have this like emotional intelligence, but it's cut off to where we're not giving it out or reciprocating it to the men who are now in more feminine energy. No offense. It's like it's an unnatural balance of things, unnatural balance with this Queen of Cups showing up like here, and then the Queen of Swords, but she is in the upright. It's like only standing for what pleases her, right? And unfortunately, we do not want it to come to the point where we're already seeing where women are becoming very selfish. And so that's still an agenda where men are being forced towards lesser options or lower standards, even when it not just in another party, but when it comes to themselves, right? Lower standards, lack of self-respect and emotional intelligence for themselves, because now they are over feminized, but the women are being pushed so much into masculine energy. We're forgetting to be able to give the nurture and compassion to the men, to be able to handle, for them to be able to properly handle their newfound femininity principles, okay? Yeah, with the Knight of Wands here. And then the Nine of Cups. Overly overly pleasurable, overly it's like an insatiable type of appetite, because of the emotional imbalance, because of the great divide. the enemy's greatest tool is divide and conquer, or the greatest weapon or program is divide and conquer. Overly insatiable appetites for men and women. Remember this. Yeah, this is all about commitment, marriage, promises, fidelity, an insatiable appetite for just passion and not for compassion. See the difference between the two? Yeah. Yeah, we have Ace of Pentacles here. It's on the right side up, the positive side. Yeah, but then we have Four of Cups. Rejecting our protection, rejecting our gifts, in doing so, and being having an insatiable appetite to always have more passion than compassion. With the Page of Pentacles, it's the opposing side of the Page of Pentacles. Rejecting what we know is right naturally, organically, that is encoded, embedded within us to go along with the textbook way of things. And the textbook way of things is leading us to sterility, not being able to reproduce a lot. Let me get a couple more. I don't know how them crickets keep getting in here. I guess it came in earlier. Eight of Wands, always having to overcome what the textbook or what society says that things should be, what we should reject, what we should accept, right? If we always go by a textbook, then we are not going with the organic, natural flow of things that is embedded and encoded in all of us, or at least should be. Yeah, Seven of Cups. See what I mean? Illusions, yep. And then Eight of Cups. Walking away from the natural order of things, illusions of what we think we should be enthusiastic about, Page of Wands, what we should be enthusiastic about, or what really matters with the Page of Wands. Discovery, motions, the natural motions and flow of things, root, organic. There's something here about soil. There could be another outbreak of avian flu or avian fever. There's judgment here. Yeah, with the Page of Pentacles, there could be another outbreak of like the avian flu. Of course it was. The Spirit says, pay attention to the names that they give these outbreaks and flus and diseases and pandemics and stuff like that. COVID, corona, crown, avian flu, bird, but blue, remember blue avians, right? We have celestial ancestors that are blue avians that was to attack the avian genealogy or DNA held within or that particular strand held within our DNA strands of the mitochondria. Okay. There's so many bloodlines tied into our DNA strands. That's why there's so many. 64, 64, 10. There goes 10 again. 64, 10. There goes 10 again. And then we have 9 of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. I'm telling you, wanting people to stay single and not And this is not me trying to push an agenda of like everybody be in a relationship, everybody be in love. You know, that's not that. What I'm saying is trying to keep us from holding back, thinking like, no, nobody wants to be in a relationship, nobody wants to communicate, nobody wants to get together and actually have like a life partnership. Fuck the marriage shit, okay? Life partner, okay? Life partner. We got to understand what our missions are, and big portions of our missions on a singular level, yes, we can reach to a certain extent or certain heights on a individual level, but together there are certain missions and tasks that must be completed as a pair or as a group. You get what I'm saying? We go from individual missions to pair missions and then to group missions, and eventually it's supposed to build its way up to community missions, right? He's still up because he was sick earlier. Yeah, 9 of Cups and 7 of Pentacles. And investing in what really matters, what we all, the vision that we all should hold, which is to have a better world. You know, I know that sounds corny and fucking cliche, but it is the truth. It's the truth, the way, the light. Okay. Yeah, with the Knight of Wands. What we're holding the vision of what is the true passion. Page of Swords. Watching to see what happens with the equal give and take. It's like watching shit go down and see and we are so divided. How will reciprocity occur? And this is even like the equal exchange of information when it comes to the sperm and the ovum. Equal exchange of information when it comes to natural birth, natural gestational periods. Yeah. With the Fool, see that child there? Watching to see what comes about, what comes along, what comes from. Elimination of or togetherness. Show me. Four of Swords. The agenda to watch and see how we continue to free ourselves from a resting place or where we have gotten so comfortable where we don't need nobody, we don't need a man, we don't need a woman, we don't need this, we don't need that. Getting us being getting used to not needing, not freeing ourselves, not keeping ourselves. It's like getting us stuck in our comfort zone also. Yeah, with the Star when it comes to healing. And then Four of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. 10 of Pentacles. Like overcoming what we believe to be generational wealth, family, the whole 9 yards, overcoming what we have been made to believe, and free ourselves out of a comfort zone so we can heal bloodlines, also heal and overcome false programming, false narratives, false beef, false ass beef between this group and that group. Mm. I know I'm not trying to get sick because we're not doing that. So I'm gonna take echinacea, bro. 9 of Wands to the 9 of Cups, 99. Something significant about the year 99. What was going on with eugenics during the year 99, or the agenda that was being pushed against like the family structure, birthing, things like that during the year 1999. 5 of Wands in the reverse, where in the year 99 there was no real competition, there was no real like divide, there was no real divide. The year 99 is very significant. Taurus or Virgo could be significant. Also Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Gemini. Somebody's name Madeline or Magdalene. Page of Cups is here. I'm telling you, where it was like there was no competition when it came to romantic offers. Remember, like if men were Don Juans or players, or they were just soft, and women, they were soft and giddy, and like this when the real romantic offers came along, and there was no real like fighting amongst them. Even if men had their, they were Rolling Stones, and they had their women on the side, their outside women, their, female down the street, female out of state, out of town. The romance did not die. There was no fighting or divide in the romance department. And then we have the Emperor in reverse. This is what they want to do to the masculine populations. They want to make y'all emperors in the reverse, not fathers, not protectors, not providers, not the strength, not the logic, not the self, not the masculine energies that men should be in. And this is not for all men. This is for the ones that actually want to be in this energy, right? And so women, we still have to recognize our men as such, right? We don't have to keep emasculating them. I know that they know that there are parts where they failed, where they dropped the ball, and women, there are parts where we failed and we dropped the ball. That is all that we can agree on, right? But moving forward, reestablishing communication and connections between the two, to have a general respect for each other, for each's role, and leaving room and leeway, nurturing and compassion, not just passion filled, but actual compassion, in order for both to grow through the false agendas that have been placed, agendas, false values that have been placed upon us all, because ultimately they don't want us to reproduce, because if we don't reproduce, how will the reincarnated gods, celestial beings, bodies, ancestors come through to usher forth a better world? We got to remember that. We got to remember that. There's a Queen of Swords. She came out crossing. Yeah, they want us to be able to emasculate the men, women. This is one of the agendas. We can have differences and stuff, but they want us to emasculate the men. Especially with this Page of Cups, it's giving me like the whole simp thing, man. Y'all pissing me off with that shit. I like me a simp ass man, and you're not a simp. You're actually a very masculine man to show compassion to your woman. That whole simp shit, like that's for motherfucking butt buddies, bro. I'm gonna leave that to the collective for y'all to. So what did I do all today? I did my bit series. I had fun doing that, collective. I cooked catfish. I cooked ribs, potatoes. Oh yeah, we had some beans too. I cooked, well, mom started the beans. I finished the beans, but nonetheless, your girl know how to make some motherfucking fire ass pinto beans, baby. Purple hull peas. You know, your girl is a cook up over here. Like, don't get this shit twisted, baby. Like my granny taught me, like my granny raised me, and she taught me that like she was a Hasididi ass bitch anyways. No offense, Granny, but you know, even though you pissed me off, you know, we'll get back to that later days. But she always taught me that, you know, you cook from scratch. And she told me you don't serve a man on, and this is the thing, like she didn't, I learned this later on, but she told me you don't serve a man on a paper plate. That's for women. You don't serve a man on a paper plate. You serve a man on an actual plate. So when you go, when anytime I would invite like a boyfriend, a ex-lover, whatever, to our family functions, parties, men got served, and they got served on real plates, and they got served, you know, it was the children and men, right? And all the women took care of that stuff. And it kind of reminds me also of Sicilian mothers and stuff, right? Because if you know anything about Sicilian and Italian mothers, they served the whole entire, they cooked everything, they served the whole entire family. And they were the last ones to eat, or they barely eat, or they ate as they kind of went along, but they made sure that their families were taken care of. That's a tradition that I hold on to, that I uphold, that I applaud. So what my grandmother didn't teach me, where I defer from what she taught me, is that you don't serve every man. You serve the man that is meant for you, your kingdom spouse, whatever, godly husband. You serve that person, and you don't serve them to where you bow down to them, but you serve them out of an act of respect and honor, right? And then there should be a mutual exchange. So that I have not let go of, right? And so my ex, that's why my ex worked so hard to try and degrade me, lie on me, slander me. He know what the fuck he had. He know what the fuck he had. And I know no man can ever say that I didn't uphold those morals and values. Like when I say 99 and before that, because the year 99 is here. I was raised by women, and granted, they didn't have the best ideal of what relationships should be like, because mind you, they didn't typically turn out to be the generational curse breakers. But the values of a woman, being a lady, you know, watching your tone, not arguing with your husband. And now, you know, like, it don't mean letting him do whatever, because they did that shit. They let the husband go out and have other family shit like that. Like, that's where I draw the line, right? Like the respect thing. But like serving the husband, making sure the husband has food, dinner, lunch, breakfast, everything, making sure the kids are taken care of, right? Making sure your house is fucking clean, making sure your body is clean, making sure that even if your husband falls short, you got him, or that or we follow God. Like if one of us falls short, we should not, the both of us, at least one of us should never lose sight of the Most High God, right? And you know, like I uphold them values to a certain standard or to a certain point, but there are certain things, that generational curses we needed to break, like our husbands having outside children, like the women being pummeled over and being a fucking pushover and a doormat and stuff like that, right? To be highly held in high reverence, both of us, one to the other. And there should never be one placed above the other. Masculines, they typically, how I look at it is like you're there not just as a physical strength, but the logic, the analytical skills, the stealthiness, the voyeurism, you know, the teaching of the masculine should be the teaching of, but also teaching of the wife. Everything that a man has within him, he should be able to pass on. Is that another fucking cricket? Or is it the same cricket? passing on that or teaching his wife how to do those things and teach the children as the masculine is out earning the bread. And a man should never have to come home to a stressful household situations, a woman nagging, bitching, complaining. And then, like, granted, unless he out really doing the absolute fucking most, just out there, just like wilding out, being disrespectful, not upholding or honoring the woman, the mother, the children, the household, then at that point, motherfuckers should just break up, separate, divorce, whatever the case may be, right? And so another generational curse is that we did, to a certain point, we didn't believe in fucking divorcing. And she was like, "Oh, we get married once." And I used to think that all the way up until like 2 years ago. And I used to always say, I'm not fucking getting married to get divorced. So, we get married. That's just it. That's just it. Right. And then I'm just kind of like, damn, I'm glad I didn't get married to this sad ass motherfucker, because like, oh, then I will be a divorcee. Like, it's already bad enough that I'm somebody's baby mama, we plan a family together. We plan children. We had a whole life plan together. Then we have children together, and then you don't want to uphold your end of the bargain. And then I'm left being a baby mama. And then motherfuckers want to look at me like, oh, I'm a run through. I'm a scratch and post. I'm just a bitch you come knock up. No, bitch. I had long relationships. The fuck. Like, the fuck? And most women be like, "I would have stopped after the one." But yes, that is the newer generation. That's where they come through. And that's where they break generational curses of, yes, I did that multiple times with 3 baby daddies. Like, what we gonna do? I mean, like, now that I see, like, the newer generation of women, the younger ones, they like, shit, I learned after the first one. I had a child with a motherfucker. They didn't follow through. They dropped their ball. I dropped my ball. Then cool. I'm not gonna keep having babies with me. And that's cool. That's where we break the generational curses. But nobody is going to fault me for what I believed, what I planned out, what I mapped out. You talk about family planning and parenting classes, what I actually mapped out for my life to be. And then it didn't turn out to be that, because one or both of us did not uphold to our end of the agreement. And that's just a simple fucking fact that it happens. That happened, right? So moving forward, my daughters, they don't want children. They don't want children. They want to be rich, successful women, but I still teach them to run the household a certain way, to have a certain respect for each other, for the men, for their brothers, for stuff like that. But I also have to teach them on where to cut that shit off at, right? So yeah, 9 of Swords is here. Queen of Swords with the 9 of Swords. Like, I'll talk bad to a dog ass nigga. Like, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't mean that I feel that way about every man. So, men, I want y'all to know that. Like, I don't feel that way about every man. It's for the ones, trust me. If I go there, it's warranted. I never want to come up out. I never want to come outside or act out of character of being a lady or a woman. But there are men out there, or guys, dudes, fuck boys, niggas, whatever you want to call them, sorries, that sometimes it calls for, because it's like nobody, and then the 9 of Swords came right back out with the Queen of Pentacles. So I think we're going to end this here. I'm going to get a couple more, and then we're going to get some signs with the 3 of Swords. I'm telling you. And also, it's like having men, this gives me the feeling of like women, emasculating men, having them in their head after we done broke their heart. To emasculate a man is really heartbreaking to them. You know that? And even though y'all hear me cussing out, I'll be cussing out fuck boys, right? And I'm gonna be honest, like, I'll talk bad to them. That doesn't mean that I see or view or react or respond to every man in that way. It means those particular people, oh, trust me, it is warranted. And, you know, if I had a strong or superior male role model, you know, in my life, you know, I wouldn't have to address a fuck boy. That person would address the fuck boy. But then again, I wouldn't place myself in positions where I have to even address a fuck boy or even come into contact or connection with a fuck boy. So when I get on here and I be talking shit and I be like, oh, you know, dudes, men this, men that, you know, it doesn't apply to everybody. It's like it doesn't apply, let it fly, because there are some good ass, upstanding men out here. But there's some dog ass women that trample all over those men, emasculating them. And then we wonder why the world is so like all these DL men and that men. Again, this is not attacking you. All these DL men and something, because at a point in time, a lot of those men, they were emasculated early on in childhood by their mothers. Their mothers who carry the generational curse of lack of respect for a man because she was her. And then that man hurt her because he was emasculated by a mother. Like, do y'all see the generational patterns, the agenda that has played out over centuries through the generations to ultimately lead to sterilization, to stopping us from being able to procreate or reproduce? Man, bro, look, the Empress. Heartache, Three of Swords, the Empress. Yeah, with justice. Let me get a couple more, please, and thank you. So many times throughout the day, throughout my life, throughout the week, I can fucking get on here and I could project so hard onto people. The Empress with the King of Pentacles. See what I mean? The woman is stable, or the woman is secure enough because of the head of household masculine. And it does not mean that women cannot be head of households. Just chill out. Page of Pentacles. It's all about perception or perspective. I don't know what this next propaganda shit is going to be about, but it's going to be something weird about blood, possibly a breakout of avian flu or some weird shit where they say, oh, it's time for everybody to get vaccinated, because that's what I'm getting with this Five of Wands here. They're going to push on an agenda of getting vaccinated. Also, with this Nine of Swords here, people getting vaccinated. This could be up to 9 vaccinations, or a vaccination that contains 9 kind of influenzas or vaccines of some kind. But it is to euphemize people. It's to sterilize people or finish up the agenda with the Eight of Wands in the reverse. And the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So, in closing, we're going to get some signs. I need those moon cards. Look, Venus is here. Love and beauty. The beauty of love. And then the 7th house. Man, look. Love and partnership with love and beauty. I have high hopes, though. I really do. The 5th house, joy and play. Sun, essence, and personality. You know, it's talking about solar plexus. You know, Doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, me, solar plexus, a name I call myself, personality. After one is born, you get me, a name. Okay. I already sung that song, Doe. I don't feel like singing, but zygote. Doe, a deer, a female deer, zygote. There can definitely be a lot of stuff going on with ovaries. Also with the shots and stuff, those whole depots. The doctor that did my surgery this was a long time ago, like 7 years ago. They tried to disbar him for, I don't know if he spoke out about some shit or what, but I know they tried to disbar him. There was this whole fucking scandal with his name in the papers. But anyways, he's still like an OBGYN and everything. And I took my daughters to see him because they wanted to, for safety measures. We are very open here. We talk about sexual protection. We talk about birth control. And so we went and we talked to him, and I was like, "What you doing here?" And then he was like, "Oh man, that man is something else." And then he was like, my daughter was talking about getting a depot shot. Now, mind you, she's 18. Get over it. So he was like, honestly, if you ask me, all this shit ain't no good. None of the birth control is no good, especially that depot shot. He said that shit is toxic and harmful. I wouldn't recommend that. The IUD, the rod in your arm. He said if I ever recommended anything, it would be to tell the woman to get on a birth control pill. That is the safest. Seriously, he said that is the safest thing, birth control, that a woman can be on. He said, because if you ask me, all of it is harmful to the female body. I'm telling you, this man has been in practice for over 20 years. And this is what he told me. Give me astro signs, moon, what to look forward to, moon signs, planetary alignments, what houses we need to pay attention to. So we have Chiron, which is inner healing. That is going to be the challenging, upcoming energy. The Chiron is the challenge. And people's, whatever your Chiron is, the challenge is going to be inner healing in whatever particular area that you need it in when it comes to Venus. Love and beauty again. Okay. And then we have moon, feelings and subconscious, mind you, because the inner healing has a lot to do with the subconscious mind, what we harbor within us, traumas, unhealed, untapped into, unaddressed. It affects our subconscious mind. And mind you, the subconscious, whatever is embedded within there, it passes down to our cells, therefore the sperm, therefore the eggs, and then it passes on to children that are born with the traumas that you have failed to release. Inner healing is going to be the upcoming challenge. That is the biggest thing we need to focus on at this time. Yes, with Pluto, shadow and mysticism. Okay, shadow and mysticism, Pluto. Okay. When it talks about feelings and subconscious, we're talking about healing, releasing of old wounds, trauma, stuff like that. And people be like, it's so hard. It is difficult to do. But think about think about the consequences of the majority of us, or the bulk of us, not doing it. Think of what it means for our children, for our future, for not just our future, but our children's future, for our grandparents' future. I mean, like, come on. Like, how many of us want to still see a world where like Chinese tradition, I don't believe in putting elders into a nursing home. I think that is bullshit. I think it's bullshit. I'm telling you right now. My granny was not going to a nursing home. Even though I didn't agree with her, baby, my granny was not going to a nursing home. Chinese people, Asian cultures, Japanese cultures, they do not believe in that shit. There are other cultures. I'm just saying, even Hispanic people, nursing home, what the fuck you talking about? Like, I don't know which part of traditions we need to get back to, but we need to get back to the traditions at least where we respect one another enough to keep each other in close proximity and make sure we're all safe. Because what happened to me and mine's, well, all the family that's around me, people should be glad that I'm not a fucked up individual for real. I'd be a fucked up individual. There was no way. There's no way. There is no way. There's no way to rob myself of that glory. There's no way. Well, I guess, people don't value it the way I do. There's Aries, the combative, when it comes to the shadow and mysticism. Feelings and subconscious, spiritual work. Love and beauty, inner healing. There's a beauty to the inner healing. And it also heals not just the heart space, but the subconscious coding. It heals the shadow. As we heal the subconscious, we heal the shadow. It's a mystery to it, but it's not really. The mystery is what they are trying to find out, how we heal the subconscious through love and beauty. They are trying to find the particles, the makeup of love that is nurturing, compassion that is passed through the mitochondria. And they're trying to fight that. 11th house, community and technology. There's so much working against us, bro. Like, on the up and up, though, I got really good news today. So, moving forward, ushering forward, I got really good news today. And it came wrapped up in a piece of bad news, but nonetheless, I got good news. So, moving forward, y'all see me moving backwards? We're not doing that. We're not doing that over here. I don't recommend it for anybody. You do what you want. We're not doing that shit over here. Here we focus on healing. We focus on anything that we can to alternatives, okay? Alternative methods of healing, however we need to do it. It doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. Even if it's with technology. Chat GPT. Ask Chat GPT. Everybody is so big on that, and Alexa and stuff. Ask them, what is the best way to heal self? How can I start? Give me a simplified plan or way to do that. It's Black Sosa. I don't know when you came on, but it's not a new look. This is just the alter ego. 10th house, career and success. And I know everybody is focused on career and success, but like, don't allow that to let you get away from the structure of groups, community, soul tribes. Doesn't have to be relationships or love relationships. It could be just like community. It could be like working with others, or a combination of combative, the combination of career and success, and incorporating that with healing. There should be many careers that should be up and coming with how to combine technology, inner healing, love and beauty, career and success together to combat the shadow, the mysteries of the shadow. I'm gonna fucking create some. I'm working on it, collective. Oh, by the way, y'all remember to go check out my other channel. Link is in the community tab. Where I have uploaded my healing frequencies, the combination of my healing frequencies. Now, granted, I still I have uploaded quite a few of them, and I still have plenty more for different areas, for different focuses, for different reasons, for specified goals that you wish to achieve, sleep, for those of you that are suffering from, and now these are only alternate healing techniques. I do not claim to be a professional or a doctor. Please consult with your doctor before. Don't just drop everything, right? Use your common sense, use your brains now. But focusing on the healing frequencies, and I'm talking about, like, I've been doing the damn thing. So y'all go check out that channel. Even if you don't subscribe, just like it. I also ask that you leave feedback, so I'm able to create better frequencies and healing music. Now they all are 15 minutes apiece. We're working to further or better that. Okay. So we have Taurus, the sensual. Career and success is what I'm saying. Being like the career and success, it doesn't have to be, ear is itching. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be hardened all the time or strenuous all the time. It's like, find a place within your career and success where you could just have a little bit of, like, not just leisure time, even vacays. But focusing on career and success, striving towards that can be pretty stressful. It can cause a lot of tension in the mind, body, soul, spirit. Finding what areas we can kind of just like lessen the tension in when it comes to career and success, because most of us are focused on that, right? Ninth house, learning and faith. Scorpio, the mystic. Yeah, learning how to combat the tensions of being career driven and success driven only, and learning to incorporate them in those areas, or whatever area we can, when it comes to career and success, learning and faith. These cards are slick. Okay. Yeah, Mars, drive, learning and faith with Mars, drive and power. And then we have Jupiter, ideas and magnitude. Sensuality and what drives us, mind and speech. So expressions also. Intentional with how we express our wants and needs, not just for ourselves, but of others. but in a sensual way for men and women, children, elders alike. So, collective, that's going to be all. And I hope that this reached whomever it needed to reach. If it did resonate, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share with a friend, share with a friend's friend. Remember to check the community tab for daily updates. We're going to continue to have fun. Okay? We're going to continue to heal. And I hope everybody has an amazing night. I know I am. So, collective. I love y'all. Remember, as I always say, don't let this world define you. Define yourself like I define me, because I am your girl, Shay, the Dual Alchemist, aka me by B, the alter ego. An ending of the bitch series for the day. Love y'all. Bye.